Visit SpectrumInsights.ca.
Sophia, hi.
Hi, John.
I'm glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
I got some questions for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. What is dyslexia and ADHD?
So, dyslexia is a writing and reading disability. There's so many things I could get into, but to say the least, it makes it harder for me to read and write.
Okay. And what about ADHD?
ADHD, also known as hyperactive inattentive deficit disorder. It's essentially just I have a hard time paying attention, and I'm really hyperactive, and I can sometimes be impulsive.
So Hazel was talking about being inattentive. There's the inattentive version, and you have the hyperactive version. Is that correct?
I believe I have both hyperactive and inattentive.
Oh, really?
Because I can focus on things, but at the same time I can get distracted very easily.
Okay. So what's misunderstood about dyslexia?
Dyslexia does not mean I cannot read and write. I actually do that all the time. It just makes it hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Another example is when I was a kid and doing a test, I got all of the answers right, but I still only got a 35. That was because that my 17, the teacher mistook it for a 71.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So then when you're writing, did you used to, or you do still get your letters mixed up?
I still get my letters mixed
Okay.
up all the time. B's and D's are always the bane of my existence.
Right. When I think of dyslexia, and this is just me not knowing, I think of people having a hard time reading and getting their letters mixed up on paper. I've seen your writing is really good. Like, I'm quite impressed. And so can you describe what dyslexia is when you're reading something or when you're writing?
So, most of the time, it is when two lines of text merge together into one line of text. Essentially, I'm reading a line of text,
Mm-hmm.
and then I go to the one underneath, but it's the same line of text. It's because both of them look the exact same to me. My brain does not see that these are two different lines of text, and often merges lines of text together.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So then does it take you longer to read, or do you have any tips or tricks to help you read?
So normally, yeah, it would take me longer to read,
Mm-hmm.
but I always try my best to find, what line looks different from the other, and
Okay.
how can I differentiate it. For example, if I'm reading something near the beginning, I'll know it's near the beginning. So the very first line, it's like the very first line. There's no line above it. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll know that with the second line, it's not the first line because there is no, it actually has a line above it.
Okay, actually, that's very helpful. All right. I've seen you read out loud, and as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't know you had dyslexia. You're reading out loud and reading what you've written. I'm very impressed.
So there's also another thing that dyslexia has, and it's me not really understanding the structure of words.
Okay.
I can always get words absolutely mixed up and make them sound incredibly wrong. For example, sensational is sentinel to me.
Oh, okay.
You even have an example of this as your own.
Oh, idiot. When I was a kid, and I still do this, there's words where I saw idiot as I-dot for the longest time in Archie comics. And then one day I'm like, oh, it's the word is idiot because I didn't get the letters put together correctly. And I still do it. So we were talking about a license plate one day, and you mentioned a word, and I couldn't process how you spelt it. And I still do that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is that that is what it's like to have dyslexia as well,
Okay.
is to always mix up words and make them sound different than they actually are.
Yes, I should join the club. Thank you. That's a really good description. Thank you. That's very insightful. What would you like people to know about? Well, you've done a great explanation, but is there anything people should know about dyslexia? You gave me a great example, but some people would still have an idea of what they think it is.
So I did touch on this before. I can read and write. I do it very often, and I do enjoy reading a lot. It does not mean I cannot read or write. Here's another thing, though. With dyslexia, it means that I just have a harder time doing it, and you shouldn't always expect me to be able to do something in a certain amount of time, because it is harder for me.
Are there any accommodations that are made for you in school?
Not very often. While there are accommodations like spelling check and grammar check on computers, there's not a whole lot people do for people with dyslexia, especially not for the reading part of stuff.
So then would you need more time on a test, for example, or would you need more time on an assignment?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So that's something people can know about dyslexia. Right, all right. Thank you. So how do you cope when needing to pay attention for a long period of time? You've given me some good answers in the past, and I think you're going to be giving really good insightful for our viewers.
So most of the time when I need to pay attention, I'll either like listen to someone's words. I'll draw during it maybe.
Yeah.
I won't always look at someone, but I'll always make sure I'm listening.
So if you're drawing and I'm talking to you, should I assume that you're not paying attention?
Absolutely not. Well, you could ask me, hey, are you paying attention? And if I'm not, I'm going to be honest, like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. But most of the time I am. I'm just focusing on something that will keep my attention. That is a big thing with ADHD. It is not the lack of attention, it is the lack of attention towards things I do not find interesting or things that do not keep my interest for very long.
Right.
For like an example, hour-long rants. I can take hour-long rants as long as, I'm doing something I also enjoy. But it doesn't always mean that I'm looking at a person. I can still be listening to them, just not
Right.
looking at them.
Okay. That's okay. How are you with eye contact?
I'm not bad.
Yeah.
Definitely could stand to improve, mainly for the fact that I often do things while talking to people.
Right.
That's a big thing, is I multitask a lot.
Yeah. I interviewed Hazel earlier, and we had to do eye contact for a really long time. And I'm doing it with you as well, and I notice your eyes drifting down, and so it's hard for me to do eye contact as well. It can be really intense with some people. So you're doing a great job. Thank you. And what are your gifts? What are you good at?
Oh, I'm absolutely a creative person.
Yeah.
I have a large amount of creativity, and my head brings so many new ideas. That is a big thing, is that my gift is I am really creative.
Yes, I've got a chance to experience your drawing and your writing, and we played D&D together as well. Very creative storytelling, and so I can definitely concur. You're a very creative person.
Yeah,
For sure.
that's the big thing, is that I love creating stories, and there's always thousands of stories running through my head. It's just, I know that not everyone can see these stories or understand these stories as well as I do. That is the big thing, but that's the difference between me and many people, is that I can share that creativity.
Yeah, definitely. You have a gift for sure. You definitely do. Okay, describe your perfect friend. The reason why I ask is a lot of my students have a hard time making friends and keeping friends. So, in your words, what is your perfect friend?
Perfect friend, there's no such thing as a perfect friend.
Okay.
I do not consider anyone a perfect friend.
Right.
What I consider is really good friends and people who are interesting and understand me enough to.
Yeah. So how would
be
somebody
aware.
have to show that they understand you? Like, what kind of feedback or information would you need?
Someone who's willing to listen to me monologue for a while, or even just, understand that I'm a bit different, and if I'm not looking at you, it doesn't mean that I'm not listening to you.
What is monologuing?
Monologuing is like when you go on and on and on about something. It's when you talk a lot, and I do this quite often. That's actually also part of ADHD.
Yes.
It doesn't always mean, hyperactivity doesn't always mean that I'm always active. It can also mean that I hyper-focus on things. Hyper-focus being also a large part of my gift, is that I can focus on things for long stretches of time because they really interest me.
Yeah.
And so when I monologue, I'm talking about something I've experienced for a long time because I've hyper-focused on it.
Very good answer. Okay. So someone is to be your friend. What should they know about you? Like how Hazel was talking earlier about masking around people, so kind of pretending and faking it. What should people know about you to be your friend?
A big thing with being my friend is that you just have to be aware that I might go on and on about things, and I also might not be looking at you while you're talking, but I'm still listening, and I still understand that you're there. What I try and do is I share my thoughts with people and try and share what I like with people. the idea is bear with me and understand that what I'm doing is sharing my creativity with you.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, here's a big one. If you can speak to your younger version of yourself, what would you say?
That's a bit, close
I
to
know,
heart.
it's a tough one, but
But what I'd say is, stay in there.
Mhm.
Everything gets better, and you won't be alone for long.
yeah. Now, if I ask that question to other people with ADHD and autism, they would probably say something similar. Why is that? Why is visiting your younger self? Why is it hard for some people?
That would be because all of us have suffered one way or another at the hands of other people.
Yeah. So, example like being bullied or not understood or misunderstood.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. All of us kind of share that experience
Right.
because we all think differently from
Mhm.
normal people.
Yes, I don't think people realize this when you're bullied as a kid. So I was teased as a kid as well, and then it sticks with you for a really long time. It also kind of shapes your life as a teenager, as an adult, and sometimes shapes your relationship with people as well. It might make you more guarded, a little more cautious. Do you find yourself more cautious with people?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a lot more cautious than I
Right.
was in the
Okay.
past.
Next question. You're doing fantastic. You're smashing these questions. Who inspires you? And multiple people.
That's a hard question.
Mhm.
I've never thought of anyone being an inspiration or a hero to me or anything like that.
Mhm.
What it really is I see people who inspire me as people who can bring out creativity and be open about themselves, who are willing to tell anyone anything and don't care about being judged for it. They
Yeah.
don't care about, if people hate them or not.
Right. Yeah. Okay. A good answer. What are you most excited about right now in your life?
Right now,
Mhm.
I would say this. I want more people to understand what it's like with us, and I want more people to understand that we exist, and yeah, we have problems, but we're also people too.
Do you mind if I share something? Sophia, you work for me, right? How did you go from being a student 4 years ago to working for me? How did that happen?
I can only, guess for so long,
Uh-huh.
but I'm pretty sure it is because I try my best to take the lessons you teach me and apply it to my everyday life.
Yeah, you've done a great job. So you're somebody who's able to, you're patient with people, you're a good listener, and you're able to take the lessons I taught and apply it to other students. And because of your perspective, make it easier for them to learn. And that's, I'm really proud of you, and I'm very impressed that you've gone from student to somebody who's now teaching. And in the future, you're going to be helping me run TELOP, our other teen program. It's very cool. So there's an example of taking, you have a great skill set, and you have a great compassion for other people. And something you do is really nice, and you're very empathetic. So we'll have students in the program who may be having a bad day, and our staff is supposed to go over and help them. Often Sophia's the first one there. That's very cool. So you're the first one there to sit with them, and I walk over to maybe help out, and there's nothing for me to do because you're doing a great job. Thank you. Okay, so what are you looking forward to the most in the future?
That's a big question. That's a loaded question. Maybe just, finding a place to be, a good job, Finding a way to share my creativity as well. I really want to do that. I want to share all of my ideas, all of my, stories, everything I can.
Yeah, okay, excellent. Describe your perfect day. So whether it's by yourself or with other people, so if somebody's going to hang out with you, what is a perfect day for Sophia?
I'm not sure. I don't think there can ever be a perfect day. There can be really good days, and sometimes there can be really bad days.
Okay.
But a day that would be really good would be me being with my friends, and then also, being productive. Because I do like being productive, but it's really hard to do that sometimes.
Yes. So I was having a conversation with somebody about being productive with ADHD. Do you struggle with staying on task?
Absolutely.
So how do you cope in those situations? What do you do?
I try to find things that interest me, and if they don't, let's just say I procrastinate a lot, and I normally need someone to tell me to be on task.
Right. So I procrastinate as well. Now, what I discovered is it's okay to procrastinate because I will have a cycle of my office being very messy and I should clean it. I can feel very guilty about it. But then I realized, you know what, in 2 or 3 days, I'll feel productive and I'll have the energy because my brain is processing the task and I'll get around to it and I stop feeling guilty about it. I don't worry anymore. So I realize I go through phases and some days it is hard for me to focus on things. How about you when you need to get a task done?
When I need to get a task done, it normally entails me needing someone to tell me what to do.
Okay, tell you what to do. All right.
Yeah, like I like being told what to do because
Okay.
it tells me what I need to do.
Okay, very cool. Alrighty. You know what? You just smashed these questions. Fantastic job. And it was really nice talking to you. And I'm glad you're able to share your insights with the world. And I'm hoping some other teenagers will maybe be inspired and feel understood. And maybe some of them will meet you in the future because you might be teaching them.
Really?
Yes. Awesome. Thank you very much, Sophia. I really appreciate talking with you.
No problem, John.
Okay.